Hello? Hello, is this thing on?
I'm on. Are you on, Captain Snickerbelly?
I think it's working. I can see you now, Captain Question. This is way harder than steering a pirate ship.
Oh, I know. I trade sailing through a hurricane or for setting up a Zoom call any day. Speaking of hurricane, how is your life after you stayed in Puerto Rico during the Hurricane Maria?
Well, as you know, I've given up my life as a pirate in order to become a journalist. I just love finding amazing stories and telling them to the whole world. It's a lot like hunting for treasure, actually.
Do you still have your greatest treasure in a safe place?
Of course, my greatest treasure of all is my Bible, and it's safely stored up there in my treasure chest.
Captain Snickerbelly,
Yes, Captain Question Mark.
you know that I love asking questions, right?
R.
And you know that as a pirate, I always find the treasure because I've always figured out that it is not X that marks the spot. It's the question mark that marks the right spot.
Yes, that's why all the pirates call you Captain Question.
Well, then why is there a big X on this book that you sent me?
You got it. That's not just any book, it's a Bible. And I put an X on it because that's how pirate mail works.
Oh, I see. This is a pretty great Bible. What am I supposed to do with it?
Open it to the special bookmark.
Uh, there's a question mark bookmark, and it is leading me to, oh, it's leading me to a story that Jesus read about feeding the 5,000. Is this where the treasure is?
That's where the treasure is today.
Ah.
But I'm too hungry for treasure hunting.
Did you just say you were too hungry?
I'm too hungry.
Captain Snickerbelly, there is a candy bar in your beer. Why don't you just eat that?
Oh,
Captain Snickerbelly, you didn't even pray before your meal. Even pirates have manners. Do you know how to pray?
Of course I know how to pray. I just forgot.
Well, just use the Lord's Prayer. It's easy. Do you know that one?
I'm not sure that I do. Is that the one that starts off with roses are red, violets are blue?
No, that's not a prayer at all. We'll start at the beginning. Can you repeat after me?
R.
All right. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Can you say that?
Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name.
Yes. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Can you repeat that?
Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as in heaven. This is a pretty great prayer.
Oh, there's more. I have one more line for you today. Give us today our daily bread. Can you repeat that?
Give us today our daily bread. Wonderful. What a great prayer. There's only one problem.
What's the problem?
What does it mean?
Oh, for that, you'll need a quest. The only way to understand what it means is to go on a question quest. Are you ready for your quest?
A Captain Question quest? I'm always ready for one of those.
Well, that's great because the Bible story you left bookmarking the question mark for me is perfect for the question quest. Would you like to read the story?
Yes, I have it right here in my copy of the same Bible. And the story goes like this.
Jesus feeds 5,000. It was a beautiful sunny day as Jesus and his disciples crossed the Sea of Galilee in a boat made with white sails. Jesus had been healing sick people, and many more people of all ages came to see him again that day. Maybe they could hear more of Jesus' stories or see him show God's power through another miracle. When Jesus saw the large crowd of men, women, and children, he asked his friend Philip, "How are we going to get enough food to feed all of these people?" Philip answered, "I could work for 6 months and not earn enough money to buy food for all of these men, women, and children." The disciples didn't know what to do. Just then, Andrew pointed to a young child and said, "Here is a boy who has 5 small loaves of bread and 2 fish. It is something, but it is certainly not enough food for all these people." The boy looked very nervous as he said in a small voice, "Jesus, please take my food if you think it will help." Jesus took the 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish that the boy offered and asked his friends to have the crowd sit down. About 5,000 people sat in the grassy meadow by the lake that day. After Jesus gave thanks to God, he blessed the 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. Then he shared the food with all the people who were there that day. All 5,000 people ate until they were full.
Ooh,
Oh, what an amazing story.
it really is. Whatever journalist got a scoop on that story is one of the best.
Well, the disciples got the scoop on the story. They were so worried that more than 5,000 people would suddenly ask for food. Jesus taught them that with prayer, and patience, trust in God, and trust in one another and their community, they would have everything that they needed.
That is just like the story I covered after Hurricane Maria, where the Puerto Ricans came together and made not just 5,000 meals, but millions every day.
Oh, you know what? That reminds me of something. When we ask God for our daily bread, we're really asking for a lot more than just bread, because bread doesn't come from nowhere, and bread isn't the only thing we eat. Isn't that right?
Of course, we also eat candy bars.
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of vegetables like tomato, cucumber, grain like the wheat or used to make bread. And have you ever grown anything like that, Captain Snickerbelly?
No, my ship was never big enough for a garden on the high seas. Have you ever grown anything, Captain Question?
I'm glad you asked because I have grown food before. This question quest is taking me all the way back in my memories to when I was on a voyage delivering supplies to a village in Mexico. Can you guess where those supplies were?
Seeds.
Yes, but what else?
Shovels and buckets.
What else?
More seeds.
There were a lot of seeds, but something else was all over my ship. There were feathers everywhere, and all we heard was a clucking all day long. Now, can you think of what else might have been I've been delivering?
Penguins.
No, and we were delivering chickens. Haven't you ever heard of chickens before?
Oh, of course, chickens. I know what chickens are.
Okay, so we delivered chickens to my friends, Amelia and Esmeralda.
Oh.
I helped them build a chicken coop. I had to sacrifice part of the shift to help me do it, but it was well worth it. For those kids to be able to provide for their families and others in the village. All they needed was just a little help to get started. Have you ever done anything like that before?
Actually, when I was in Puerto Rico, we lost my ship in the hurricane, but we were able to use the pieces to build a big cross for Jesus in a church.
I think we finished our question quest and we discovered the treasure, don't you think?
Arr, we had to remember all the ways we've helped people and can keep helping people to realize what it means to ask God for daily bread. We're asking God to help us to help others. We're asking God to help everybody. Help everybody.
You know, if every pirate and every non-pirate too helped all of the neighbors, and their neighbors helped their neighbors, and their neighbors helped their neighbors' neighbors, then the whole world would be helped. The disciples had to learn to trust in God, and they would find that what they needed to feed people. Did they learn anything else?
They also learned to pray. Jesus prayed about the food they needed for the hungry people. Jesus also taught his disciples the Lord's Prayer, the prayer that you taught to me today.
That was just the start. But I think it's time for us to go. I still need to edit the video for us playing the noodle relay game. And I need to get that done right.
Arr, arr,
Bye, Captain Snickerbelly.
bye.